Hello, welcome back. I am Lewis from Primo Tailoring and Aspiring Gent, and we're going to show you how we go about adding buttons so that we can attach suspenders. Obviously, you have the clip-on route, which is totally fine, but we want to see you guys in something that's a little bit more stylistic, so we're going to show you how we measure for it and attach the buttons. Super simple process, so let's knock this out. So first off, we want to figure out the placement. Now, whenever you're doing the suspender buttons, it's just a matter of figuring out how wide is too wide for the straps to spread, but also not too close so that it looks weird. We want to have a nice healthy spread in the leather here to look its best. So the way we do this is actually we start on the back, this back seam here. We will take our measuring tape, and I like my buttons to be about 3 inches apart on the back. You're going to see here kind of how that nice little spread goes. So you can take measuring tape, ruler, go 1.5 inches from that center seam over, put a mark there, and then the other way, 1.5 inches over, put a mark there. Then you are going to go just right into the center of the waistband, because if the button is too high on the waistband, you're going to start seeing the hole in the suspender leather that is going to be where you put the button through, and you don't want the button to show and anything to wrinkle, and you don't want it too low to where it kind of hikes the pants up weird and gives you an unflattering waistband look. So you want it to go right in the middle. Plus, it'll give it the most security so that that is not coming undone. Now that we've got the back figured out, let's go to the front. Now this can be a little bit harder in terms of measuring because we have all kinds of waistband closures. For example, my waistband here that I have on is a wide extended double thick waistband. You have your traditional 2-button adjust. This one's a clip and a button, 2-button adjust. So the starting point isn't always as easy as just the center back seam. So how do we do this and make sure that it's perfect every time? Simple enough. The way I do it is either from the first belt loop, gets the first button on either side, as you can see here, boom or boom. But if your pants don't have belt loops, that's why I'm putting suspenders in, Lewis. I don't want the belt loops and suspenders. It's going to look jank. So this is how we do that. We follow the front crease. So wherever that front crease comes should line up almost perfectly with that first belt loop. So follow that front crease up. You can even lay it down, put a square on it, and that is going to indicate where we want that first button. It's going to follow the crease up our leg, hit that first button, and then go out. Now another thing I like to do, it's 3 inches on the back. I like to go about 2.5, 2 3/4 on the front because I don't want too wide of a spread on my suspender button. So we're going to go either first belt loop or that center crease, put our mark there in the center of the waistband, and then again, do our 2.5 to 2 3/4 just to have that spread slightly different. Well, there you go. That's the measuring stage. Let's hop on over and show you guys how we attach the buttons. So here we are. We have our marks on the back and on the front. Now we just have to attach the button. And there are a few things that you're going to want to have to make this a lot easier. Obviously, your suspender buttons. You can use any button that you have around. However, you want to make sure they are the right size for the suspender. So this one's coming in at just about 3/4 of an inch wide. If you go with something else a little bit smaller like this guy, which is about a 1/2 inch, there's a chance that it could slip out of the slot where the hole is made on the suspenders. So I would at least go with a 3/4 inch size. Moving on, thimble, we're going to be using some heavy thread, so it's going to be hard to push through and you don't want to damage your fingers. Something to nip the thread, make it look nice and clean. The ever so important beeswax to keep everything smooth and untangled. And then your button thread. This is going to be a thicker thread that's going to hold onto that button tighter because the last thing you want is a suspender button coming undone, guys. But usually at all of your sewing stores, you can get some button thread pretty easily. And then obviously you want to make sure you have your needles. These are a number 1 needle. You want something big, thick, that's going to go through everything and have a large enough eye. So we're going to take our thread. You don't want to take more than your arm's length. You could actually, we're going to double it for this one because we're going to double up the thread and make it a lot easier for us. So you're going to take this, thread it through your needle, pull nice and tight, and you're going to double up the thread. You're not going to just be pulling one thread through because that's going to take too long. This will kind of help speed along the process. Running it through that beeswax to make sure nothing gets tangled as we work. And we're going to attach it like we attach a normal button. I'm not going to tie a knot off on this one because I don't want it to be too bulky. So we'll pull through till we get to that end. I'm going to nip off the edge because I like it to look clean. And we'll double up on itself to tack it into place. Usually I pick a button that matches the inside waistband if I have one at my disposal. I'm going to use a white one so that you guys can see it a little bit better, but you can see here that there's already a pre-cut slot for this thread to go through, so we're just going to follow through there, up through one hole, in through the other, just like that. Push through at an angle. Do the same thing on the bottom side. Push through, and then we're going to do that one more time through both holes. That is just going to ensure that nothing comes undone. Now, wrap it around, pull through this little loop so we have it started pulling around. We're going to pull through there to tie off, and then we're going to do 3 loops around like so. Now we're going to take this needle, push it through the base of that thread. This is where the thimble comes in handy, and then pull through, nip off the edge. And that is one of the buttons, and then you will just repeat on all of your marks, all the way around the pant, and you will be set. And that's it, guys. That's how simple it is to add suspenders to your outfit so that you can have this nice accessory. Now, I use this all the time when I go thrifting because I'll have some vintage pieces that have belt loops, and I really don't like wearing belts. So I'll rip off those belt loops and add suspenders. It's very easy, super simple set of tools. You probably already have them at home. If you have any other questions, like always, feel free to reach out, and I look forward to working with you guys next time. See ya.